Hey guys, I thought I would talk briefly about the animal rescue. Someone wrote me and they said, I didn't know you had so many rescue dogs, and I realised that they kind of got forgotten because I was sick, and not forgotten as in we weren't looking after them, but as forgotten that I and nobody else was really communicating with you about the rescue. And even though that was the case, we were admitting new dogs and we were ongoing with our job as an animal rescue, and it's quite a sizable job. Even in comparison to Featherstail and Angel's Gate, we have over 70 rescue dogs and we have over 100 children, but the job is still huge. So I thought I'd let you know, because as well, we do still need support for that. And I know persons prefer sometimes to support our four-legged family than our two-legged. It's just kind of part of our human nature. I know that I grow closer to dogs often than what I do with the humans, and that's because they are in my personal space much more than another human will. That's because we interact with other humans with our language system, whereas with dogs we interact with a different system, our more organic system, as you were, our collective system. There's nothing linear about our relationship between ourselves and our pets. So the rescue is still going on. In recent months we admitted new dogs. We brought in Mum and the puppies. Thankfully they were rehomed with the family who are dealing with homeopathy in another NGO. So we're very grateful for that. We have finally managed to put on staff a full-time veterinary. So we now have a doctor on site for all of the dogs, which will help us instead of having to go to our friends out at Makoa Farm, which is quite far away, the tropical animal rescue. We can now do many of the procedures in-house. Still some will have to go there, but her name is Jessica and she's a wonderful addition to the team. Also as well, we had hoped the 1,000-strong army would have gone well and we would have been able to relocate, and we do need to relocate, but we have now set that back and we hope that we can do that in maybe a year or 2 years, hopefully, by the grace of God. But until then we needed more space because we're still bringing in dogs and we're rehoming as well, but we are also in the middle of constructing new kennels, and we do that based on funding that's coming in when it's available, but the guys are there building now. So that's what we're doing. And for those of you who don't know a lot about the rescue, we have a lot of videos online. Our most famous and profound video with over our second highest views I ever had was Oliver, who is a dog who sadly was hung. And I'm going to do a short version of Oliver's rescue and some of the other rescues as well, I think. So I'll give you an example at least of a recent rescue who came into us this week, and his name is Milo. And Milo had a loving family, which is good news in Tanzania. But it turns out that they were not so loving in the end, because for all he spent his whole life with a family, they moved to another area, and because they couldn't work out how to transport him, they just left him, which is totally alien to me. I don't know how a human can behave like that. I could not for the life of me close off my heart in such a way, and I just sometimes feel like an alien on the planet due to these things. But that resulted in Milo being out on the street by himself, and he lost an eye. We don't know what happened. We don't know if it was a dog fight. We don't know if it was human conflict. Both are very possible. Sadly, human conflict is a very real part of life for street dogs in the town. People do kill them even just for sport. I've witnessed too many horrendous things that I'll not go into detail of, but it's just a complete lack of love and empathy, and it's a sad thing. It's the difference between a human animal who is alive in the flesh and a human being who is alive in the spirit. That's why you must be born twice, as we say in Christianity, which is true. Your heart has to be born. Your heart must be born again for you to be a true human being. Anyone can be an animal, but to be a true human being, that takes stamina, that takes courage for a person to get to that point, and that is what's lacking in people who do this. So Milo is a bit of a miracle. He was out in the streets and he started coming around Angel's Gate home for our street involved boys. And of course the boys have rescued many dogs from the rubbish tip, etc., and brought them into our care, and they have dogs inside the home. And bit by bit they've gained Milo's trust, and eventually they have managed to rescue Milo, and now he's very happily moving into his new home at Kilimanjaro Animal Rescue. And he needs a sponsor, and I thought I'd mention that now. And if anyone wants to adopt Milo from a distance and allow him to stay with us, and also keep the door open for more dogs, of course, the important factor. It's not like we're going to kick him out because we don't have the money. We always trust that God will provide, but it just helps us keep the door open for more rescues that come. And you can do that on KilimanjaroAnimalRescue.com. You'll get regular updates from Milo and his progress and how he's doing, and the other dogs as well, when you become a sponsor. And we also do international adoption, but it is costly, and it means that you would have to fundraise with your friends and family to bring your new dog home, because we have to pay for the flights, and we have to get the dogs chipped and sit them in quarantine in Tanzania with the chip after we've sent the blood to a laboratory in your country. But it can be done, and it's not horrendously expensive. You can ship a dog for like $1,000. So if any dogs sort of take your heart and you want to do some fundraising, international rehoming is possible. If you're in Tanzania, even easier. You're welcome to drive along, and we come and see your home and have a conversation with you and make sure that we feel that's the best thing, and that you understand how we expect our dogs to be cared for. And then you can rehome someone like Milo, if not Milo, anybody. And all of our dogs are trained to be very loving and kind, that are up for adoption. They have good interactions with humans and children, adults and children. And if they don't have good temperament, we just keep them with us, and we don't rehome them, because we don't want anyone getting into trouble with a rescue dog from our shelter. So Kilimanjaro Animal Rescue, a big part of what we do, and still very much ongoing. So check out the website, KilimanjaroAnimalRescue.com, and have a look, see if you might want to sponsor a pup or adopt or anything in between. God bless, guys.